On October 17, 2016, I wrote to Hassall. I wanted answers to some very basic questions. Despite telling his seniors that he had always been willing to meet with me, and still was, and that it was me who refused to do so, I had not been able to secure a meeting with the man. So I made a very clear request to meet, with copies to all of the people who he had told that he was willing to talk to me. I acknowledged potential reasons why he might be reluctant to meet with me after ignoring me for so long, and suggested ways to ensure his safety, if he perceived a risk of physical harm. Not that there was any risk to him other than the possible emergence of the truth. The following contains the content of my email. I never received a response, not from Hassall, and not from any of the 14 high flyers who I included in my email. Not one of these occupational invertebrates has ever even expressed a concern about the obvious lies that Hassall had told them about his openness and ongoing willingness to discuss Claire's treatment with me. Hello, Tim. What is it that's preventing you from meeting with me to explain your decision-making about Claire's treatment? Is it that you know you can't? Or perhaps the organization has told you to be silent because of their own concerns about the shit you might drop them in? Or is it that you are concerned that a man who believes you killed his child might want to take matters into his own hands? I suppose that this is a reasonable concern for someone to have, whether or not they did actually kill the child in question. So, I would like to propose that we meet at Charlotte Street. There's a little room on the ground floor, outside the building, which is video monitored, and you can have as many security personnel present as you feel you need to be safe from any threat that you might feel I represent to your safety. I am prepared to walk through a scanner, and have a detection wand run over me, just so you know that I am carrying nothing that could harm you. You can even have security officers in the room with us. I don't know how much safer things can be made for you, but I am willing to submit myself to all of those indignities, so that you can do what you claim to be willing to do more than 12 months ago, to explain to me why Claire is dead, why and how her diagnosis was changed, and by whom, and on what local evidence, and why you delayed seeking second opinions, why you unblinded them, despite assurances to your peers that you did not, why Claire was denied access to whole brain radiation in the first instance, and why she was denied early access to radiation to treat the metastases. You might also like to explain to me how you are a qualified oncologist, or if you are not, why it did not seem to be ethically required that you should advise us that you were not an oncologist. I know that you want to explain it all to me. You were so obviously prepared to do so when you wrote to your colleagues about it. I recall you saying that you always meet with parents within a month of their child's death. I'm not sure why that didn't happen in our case. We certainly wanted to understand what happened to Claire. I also know that you have suggested to your colleagues that you flagged with me your willingness to meet with me, but that I rejected those offers. You know that's not true, don't you? You have never once communicated with me. Your intention was to be present at the meetings I was having with other clinicians. I resisted that because I believed that you wanted to be present to shape and control any conversation had with other clinicians. I certainly wanted to meet with you, but only after I'd spoken with the other members of the treating team. Wakefield and Pinkerton successfully derailed that process, and anything I have learned about Claire's death since then has come down to good old gumshoe detective work, and much I have learned. But ultimately, only you can fill in the blanks and correct any misunderstandings I might have. When can we meet, Tim? I'm available anytime after the end of October. I will meet you anytime, anywhere. You can have lawyers present, you can have security present. You can bring along the DG, the health minister, the premier and the CEO of CHQ if it will make you feel better. I am completely flexible and willing to work in with your schedule and your safety requirements. I am even prepared to supply my questions in advance. How much fairer can I be?